You see, doing that, but from today on, strange.
Black Desert Online is a sandbox-oriented MMORPG published in 2014, and it's since then been known for its graphics and fast-paced combat. Recently, Black Desert had an update called Land of the Morning Light, which caught the attention of many new and returning players. This new expansion featured an entire new region and questline, new classes, the boss blitz mode, and more features. So this felt like the perfect opportunity for me to check out Black Desert in 2023 and find out, is it fun? That's a lot of classes. Sadly, this game does have gender lock, but at the same time, I mean, you got literally 26 classes to pick from. I've just counted them. Gotta say, I'm starting to notice a pattern with most of these classes. Yep. No. No. Damn it, Dan. Resist. Reject the waifus. Become warrior. Character customization in this game is absolutely amazing, not gonna lie, it's one of the best in the MMO market. You can even choose your character's horoscope in this game, so much like in real life. If I'm an absolute idiot, I can just blame my horoscope on it. I want to show you guys something really cool though. Because Black Desert Online, on your character creation, you have something that I don't think any other MMO has. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure BDO is the only one with this. You got this thing right here, called a beauty album. This is going to give you a list of characters made by other people, which I think is absolutely awesome, and you can even vote which one is the coolest. Obviously, if you play Warrior, number one is obviously gonna be Guts from Berserk. Now behold, my Warrior. Yeah, I want to check out the new content, so obviously I'm gonna choose Land of the Morning Light. I feel like the game's in a rush to level me up. I'm already level 11 and I haven't fought a single monster yet. I've basically just been auto-pathing from one place to another, and I'm just leveling up. I'm being rewarded just for existing. Ooh, a stealth mission, okay, alright. Wait. It's just me. Yeah, I can mostly just walk forward, can't I? Yes, beautiful, excellent. What an amazing stealth mission. This is basically Skyrim levels of stealth right here. Shockingly enough, that's the most action I've had so far in my playthrough.
What do we do?
My character seems awfully happy about the whole situation. Yes, finally, my first fight! I'm just pressing random buttons. Cause not gonna lie, this boss fight is actually pretty good. Too bad I have no idea what I'm doing. Ah, take that! After this intro, I went through many levels of mostly just auto-pathing with very little action, and even when I did get to do some combat, it was usually just fighting weak animals like boars or foxes that would die in one hit. You do have some boss fights in between, but most of them felt clunky, did zero damage, so they posed no threats at all. And there we go, kids, that's where horses come from. I really hate being that guy, but I'm gonna be honest to you guys. The new player experience in Black Desert is really not impressing me at all. And if I'm being completely honest, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm recording this video, I 100% would have uninstalled the game by now. In fact, for the sake of both of our sanities, I decided to skip the vast majority of my leveling experience, and I won't be including it on this video. It was approximately 15 hours of tedious auto-pathing with next to no action. Just like I mentioned earlier in the video, Now I will point out that this is partly due to the fact that I picked Land of the Morning Light as my starting area, which I did some research on, and most Black Desert Online players discourage you from picking it because of just how bad it is. And the game does tell you that this is not recommended for new players, but at the same time, a lot of people recently joined Black Desert Online because of the new updates, so naturally they want to see the new content. And honestly, even if it was an experienced player picking this starting zone, I can't possibly imagine anyone enjoying it. Which is a shame because this is not an accurate representation of what Black Desert Online is, and it does a great disservice to this game's greatest strength, its combat. Oh wait, just as I reach like almost level 40, I'm finally getting a little bit of actual action. Like a sort of mini that. Oh, never mind. Yep. Never mind. Yep, that's done. Okay, I got approximately 5 seconds of action. Brilliant. On a side note, I just want to give a quick shout out to the voice actors who worked on Land of the Morning Light, because despite all the flaws in this questline, the voice acting was actually really good.
Whether lying sick or standing tall and proud, with a bitty bob that makes us shiver.
After many hours of mind-numbing autopathing and spamming the R key, I finally completed Land of the Morning Light and entered the main world. Was I finally going to start having fun? Before anything else, I was level 56, so first thing on the list was to unlock my awakening. Luckily this was pretty quick, a few horse rides, some dialogue, and I finally had the reason why I chose to be a warrior. And my goodness, did combat just become infinitely better after that. With that out of the way, I noticed that I needed to do a quest chain called the Magnus. Supposedly this quest needed to be done, so I figured I would get it out of the way, and the Magnus quests were honestly just bad, really bad. They were stretched out way longer than they needed to be, most of it just revolved around solving puzzles, which would have been fine. I don't mind puzzles, if it wasn't for the fact that the majority of those puzzles were unfun, unoriginal, clunky, buggy, and frankly the entire quest chain just felt unfinished and unpolished. The only redeeming things about the Magnus quests are the good rewards, the fact that you unlock fast travel out of it, and that you don't need to redo it on a new character. If once you complete this quest chain once on a character, you can just skip it on the next one. Which is honestly a huge relief, because you would have to pay me working wage to get me to do this quest chain again. Anyways, I was now finally free. No more bad starting area quest lines, no more Magnus quests. I was finally free to enjoy the game. So I opened the map, I found an interesting grinding spot with a rift on the way there, and off I went on my mighty steed. Oh shit. Oh, that's a big boy. Oh god, Rene. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Oh god. Can I fight him? No, surely I can fight him. It shouldn't be too bad. Yes! Alright. Now I've been talking shit about this game for the longest time, but I'm actually having fun. Holy shit, I feel badass. Question is, what's the loot? Oh, baby! Ah, yes. 2 treasure chests from 1 boss. The gamer in me is very happy right now. Well, there you go, guys. I'm finally having fun in the game. It only took me About 29 hours to reach this point of actually having fun in Black Desert. Around this point, I generally started having a blast playing Black Desert Online. If anything, I was still a bit upset about how long it took to actually reach this point, as well as just how bad the previous hours were. Because now that I was technically in the end game enjoying the best that this game has to offer, it generally feels like a completely different game. After grinding for a bit, I remembered that there were still a few things I wanted to try out, and one of them was sailing. And sailing was really nothing special, but it was alright. It's a relaxing experience, however it starts off very slow before you get a nice crew in a nice ship. I'm imagining that it gets way better once you get those things and you can do ship battles, fight pirates and sea monsters, go on long fishing trips and explore the ocean, but it does unfortunately start off very slow. But hey, on the bright side, at least I got to meet a cool otter. I also decided to try the Boss Blitz mode, one of the newest additions to Black Desert Online, where you simply fight a boss for rewards, which essentially turned out to be powered up versions of the bosses that you find during Land of the Morning Light. And they're actually challenging this time, but unfortunately they're still clunky. So pushing the rewards aside and talking strictly about fun, I really had no motivation to fight these bosses when I can just fight the game's already existing older bosses, which are way more fun and way smoother. Which is a bit of a shame, because a game mode like this in a game like Black Desert Online could have been awesome. I hope Pearl Abyss makes some improvements to these bosses in the near future, because this game mode had some potential. Playing Black Desert Online was a sweet and sour experience. The combat is great, there's no denying that, but everything else about the game is simply not good. The leveling experience is bad, and if you pick Land of the Morning Light as your starting region, then it's just horrendous. The new player experience needs a lot of work, the game's graphics look nice, but they're also glitchy, and the character movement is extremely clunky, to the point that it sometimes felt out of an amateur indie game amongst many other issues. And it's a real shame too, because on the other hand, Black Desert does have great combat, and it also has a massive open world with sandbox elements. This could be an amazing MMORPG with a lot more popularity than it currently does, if it wasn't for the fact that the game's strengths are being held back by its rough edges. And despite my criticism of it, I can tell that a lot of hard work went into creating Land of the Morning Light, which I can appreciate, but I do wish that all that effort had instead gone to polishing the actual game instead, especially when you consider that all of these issues have been in the game since release. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and move to the pros and cons. So Black Desert Online's pros are obviously its fantastic combat system. It is easily one of the best combats in the MMORPG market right now, and it is considered by many to be the best one. But obviously that bit's going to be a matter of taste. To complement that, Black Desert Online also has great graphics and really flashy animations to boot, so it's a very aesthetically pleasing game. Lastly, thanks to being a sandbox game, Black Desert also has an enormous variety of things for you to do, as well as freedom. There is no specific set of activities that you need to do. You can just do whatever the hell you want. As for Black Desert's cons, the first one is that its combat, while it is great, is unfortunately held back by the clunky movement. On a very similar note, the game's graphics, which also look pretty great, are also held back by the fact that they can be very buggy and glitchy at times. So the game itself is not very well optimized. Also, the new player experience and the leveling in Black Desert Online are very bad. I cannot emphasize this enough. I leveled through Land of the Morning Light which unfortunately turned out to be the worst of the leveling experience in Black Desert Online, and was, without exaggeration, the worst leveling experience I've had in any MMORPG ever. Similar to the fact that the new player experience is bad, there's also the fact that most of the good content in Black Desert Online is behind barriers that are unfun to go through. A good example of this is the sailing, which I spoke about just a few minutes ago, which once you get your crew and once you get a good ship, can be a really fun side activity with lots of exploration. But when you begin, all you have is a crappy ship moving at less than walking speed, just auto-pathing from one island to another. It's not a fun experience. The last con is something which I believe most people who have ever heard of Black Desert Online already know of, and that's the fact that this game is very, very pay to win. So beware of that. So in conclusion, I would have to give Black Desert Online a 6 out of 10. It's not like I think it's a bad game by any means. I believe it's just held back by so many issues that could be easily be solved that I can't possibly imagine myself giving it any more than a 6. However, if Pearl Abyss was to one day polish all those rough edges, then I can easily see Black Desert being at least an 8 or even a 9 out of 10. And that's it for my first impressions of Black Desert Online in 2023. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave it a quick like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. It's a massive help to me, and I will see you in the next video.